Finals ain't cool. I'm already 2 in. Yesterday, Monday, I had to wake up and do my Calculus 2 final. I had 4 hours to take it. I don't know what my teacher's thinking. I don't want to go too much into the details here until it's actually officially graded, because on the 0.0001% chance that he hears this before it's graded, I feel like I could screw my own grade up. But so I'll go into more details after everything's officially graded. But the test started at 12, and we had until 1:50 or 2 o'clock. Like, officially, it was 1:50. But the teacher said you had 2 hours to take the test. And then he said you have another 2 hours to turn it in. And I don't know what that's about. Is that him giving us a wink wink and going like, you know what, just do whatever the heck you want on the test. It's 12 questions. It's tough, cumulative stuff. Like, you got 2 hours to turn it in, no questions asked. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much more into it until I know everything's turned in and finalized. But it was weird. And then, engineering, statics, which is just like a physics class for things sitting still, like static. I don't know. That was easy. That was an hour 50, 12 questions on that, and that was long enough that I could kind of teach myself what I needed to know. Where, like, I don't really pay attention in that class anyway, because it's just all basic math, basic physics, which I'm not really good at anyway. But I knew it's just boring, so I haven't paid attention much. But everything's in the book and in the slides that he's posted online. So if I got stuck on a question, I would just it was open book. I wasn't cheating on the test. It was open book, open notes and everything. So I was able to just go back and be like, is this right? Is this right? Like, fill in the blanks with all the formulas where I felt comfortable doing that. But I did get that grade back. I got a 70 on that, which, I mean, I'm not gonna complain about. Out of 12, that's, I don't know, what is that out of 12? Like an 8? No, what's an 8 out of 12? That's a 4, 6. That's a 3, 5. A 60. So I got like 9 out of 12, right? Yeah, I mean a little less, an 8.5 out of 12, right? Yeah. All right. Sorry. I'm being boring here, but I got that grade back. My final grade in that class was like an 81. This semester I did not do very good. Last semester I think I got 2 B's, and they were both like 89%. So just barely scratching the B surface there. But this semester I'm going to do bad. I got an 81 in engineering. Calculus, I have a 75 right now, and the final, I know I didn't do. I need like a 95 to being able to bring it up to an 80. And I know that's not possible. I know I need like a 55. If I get less than a 55, it'll bring my grade down to like a 69. So I think that's more likely than getting it at a 95. So I'm just hoping, as long as I got at least a 56, I don't really care, because I know that it's harder for me to get a 95 than it is for me to get a 56. I want to get a 95, but what's more likely here, you know what I'm saying? And my econ class, that right now, I don't know what the official grade is. It says 88, but he doesn't. Every quiz he's given us, it was out of 11 points, but he's technically going to go back and make them all out of 10 points and consider one question on each quiz a bonus question, and he hasn't gone in and done that yet. So on the test where it says I have a 10 out of 11, and it says that's like a 93%, it should really be 100%. And the ones I get 11 out of 11 is 100%, but it should really be like 104. And then he said he's dropping the 3 lowest quiz grades and giving us a bonus quiz after the finals too, to be able to add on to our final grade. Like, not our official final class grade, but like the grade for the final. So that one should be fine. I'll get at least a 90 in that. I'll get an A in that. And then I have matrices on Friday. Wednesday I have econ at 8. Friday I have matrices at 8, which is linear algebra. So it's the weirdest thing I've ever had to learn. It's not hard. It's just weird. Like, what is this for? So matrices is if you have 2 different equations, and you say x1 plus 3x2 is equal to 9, and then you can say similarly 2x2 plus 8x or 2x1 plus 8x2 is equal to 43. In both of those equations, x1 and x2 are the same number. Put them into this formula to solve for them all at the same time. So like it all works, you know. I don't know. Math freaks me out because it's like it all works, but did you come to that conclusion first, or were you trying to see stuff that would? Oh, how do you solve for x1 and x2? Oh, well, you put them in a box and then you divide them all by each other, and then that'll give you the answer. Or are you like, hey, did you realize that if you divide these numbers by each other, they give you the answers? You know what I mean? Like, did you do it by accident, or was someone trying to figure out how the heck would we solve for these numbers? I don't know. That's how I feel about calculus. I mean, matrices are a little more forgiving on that because it is like, no, that kind of makes sense. It's just like, of course they're related to each other, so put them in and divide them by each other. Put them in this box, basically, divide them by each other, and you'll get the answer. But calculus is like, oh, get the derivative, and then here, I'll throw open my notebook real quick, like just weird stuff, like I mean, I can't even hardly explain it because I don't really know what's going on, but just like it all works. Like these formulas all come up, all provide answers. Like at the end of the formula, you fill in the blanks, you get an answer. But it's like, what? So what? Like who the heck realized, hey, do you know if you have a graph and you need to solve for the arc length, you can solve it for L, and then the integral from A to B, square root R2 plus derivative R over derivative theta squared. I don't know. See, I can't even keep track of what the heck is going on. All I know is I don't believe in calculus. I think it was just a lot of made up stuff that technically works out, but it only works out because I don't know. It only works out because they come up with it and realize that it worked. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But do you know what I mean? Like, what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing? Does calculus work because someone sat there and tried to figure out something that works? Or did they just go, hey, if you put these in this formula, you get this number. Let's just say that's the arc length. I don't know. I know that's not very likely, but it just seems very unnecessary. And not to mention, like I said, I'm changing my major. I'm going into English, so all these classes that I'm taking from math have no effect on my actual graduating. Like I changing to English, I only need 2 math credits, and I've already gotten 2 last year. So now I'm in 2 math classes and a physics class and an econ class. And the only thing that'll transfer is my econ class because it's a gen ed, but I'm taking 3 classes that have nothing to do with my major, and they're all going to drop my GPA, which is not cool. I have a 3.7 right now. That's nuts. I spent all last year trying to get myself a good one, and I immediately killed it this semester, and it was for nothing. It's not like it was classes that if I was going to take classes that their sole purpose was changing my GPA, I would not have taken Calculus 2. Let's just put it that way. Do you like this quote I made up? It's not an official word-for-word quote, but I like the idea of it. I don't make accidents, but I do make mistakes. Does make accidents make sense? I don't have accidents, but I do make mistakes. I guess saying that everything I do is on purpose, but that doesn't mean that everything I do is perfect. I still make mistakes, but at least everything I do was on purpose. And I like to do that. I like to live like that anyway, because it is just like I don't get to blame my problems on anyone else. Because it's like, well, that was on purpose. I mean, even with taking finals and not studying 100%, or even studying 100%, it's like, once I'm done, I mean, it's out of my hands now. Like, whatever grade I got, I earned. Because I did all the assignments. You know what I mean? I didn't skip. I know there's some people I know that like skip over homework assignments and stuff and go, oh, well, it's only this % of the grade. I'll just save it all for the end and stuff like that. Or it's like, I can't do that. Like, I don't like doing the homework, but I can't live with getting a bad grade in the class and realizing that I didn't complete every assignment that I could have. Or how if I get a bad grade in class and I realize I didn't do every assignment I could have, then how am I supposed to be mad? You know what I mean? Like that's 100% my fault. I guess is what I'm saying. But that quote isn't even all about school. I guess it's just about anything. I don't I don't have accidents, but I do make mistakes. Thursday, me and Jason are doing our yearly tradition that we started last year. So this will be I guess it's not a tradition until we do it again. But last year we decided like on a whim, hey, let's make a huge breakfast today. So we woke up, we made scrambled eggs and toast and bacon and had like big glasses of orange juice and we watched the movie Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. And that was awesome. That's a movie I watch every Christmas. I consider it a Christmas movie. It has nothing to do with Christmas. It's about uh, these like heavy or not heavy, like extreme sports guys that are like committing crimes, robbing banks, and Keanu Reeves has to infiltrate the this gang as an undercover cop. I'll talk about it in another episode of White Coffee as the movie of the day, but not maybe next Thursday because it'll be this 25th, and that's my favorite Christmas movie, even though it has nothing to do with Christmas. But we're in the Christmas season, and I'm doing Christmas movies every week. So yeah, I think Thursday. Me and Jason's done with finals tomorrow. I'm done with finals. Uh, well, I have a final Wednesday and Friday, but I don't have anything Thursday. So we decided we're gonna wake up and make big breakfasts and watch Point Break. What's your favorite Christmas movie? I was watching. I really haven't watched any Christmas movies just because of work and school. Like I just don't have. I feel every time I watch anything, I feel like a piece of crap. Like I should be studying. Anytime I'm like indulging myself and like I'll watch YouTube videos here and there, or I'll watch YouTube videos all day because it's like 10-minute clips. But I can't sit down and watch a whole movie because I like to watch the entire movie. I don't, and I want to pay attention to it. Why would I turn it on if I don't want to? If I'm not going to sit and watch and pay attention to it. But my friends were over the other day and we were watching the Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch, and I don't know, unpopular opinion, I don't like that movie. And it's not because Jim Carrey's a bad actor or the story's bad. I mean, it's a classic Dr. Seuss story, and I love Jim Carrey. He's hilarious. I love Dumb and Dumber. I love Ace Ventura. I love Jim Carrey. But that movie, does anyone else agree that that movie is too long? You get to the part where he's at the holiday cheermeister thing, and he's wearing like the overalls, and even that scene alone is way too long. Of just that them hanging out and like stuffing cheese in his mouth and fudge and I don't know, something else. Like he's just eating all this food and then they're like making him mad, they're doing the conga and then the mayor like plays a prank on him or something weird and he gets all mad and then starts destroying the city, lighting the tree on fire and stuff like that. And then it seems like that's the end of the movie. And I mean, if you look at the story, it doesn't make sense for that to be the end. But like the way it plays out, looks like that's going to be the end of the movie, and it's like the third act, and there's about to be like 10 more minutes of like resolution. You know, that's how it seems. And then he goes back home, and then he steals Christmas. Like I always forget when you're watching that part where he's at the cheermeister, he hasn't done anything yet. So that you already think it's the end of the movie, and it's only like an hour and a half. I'll look it up real quick because it's not like 3 hours long and it goes too long. It's seriously like a regular length movie. 2000 runtime. An hour 50 minutes. I mean that's a regular time for a movie. The Elf is an hour 37. So he hasn't even stolen Christmas yet. So then they show the whole scene where he's becoming Santa Claus, and I mean it's an iconic scene. You can't not show it, but it goes on for so long. And then he's designing the sleigh, and then he goes and steals Christmas, and he's I don't know, stealing all the trees, stealing all the presents. Then he takes all the presents back. And then the girl's actually on the sleigh. Cindy Lou Who's on the sleigh. She's hanging out up there, and then she's gonna fall off the cliff, so he has to go grab her. And then they fly all the toys back there. He has a change of heart. He drives all the toys back down to Whoville and gives them all back. And I was the Grinch who stole Christmas. And then the cop goes, I heard what he said. He said he's sorry. I don't know. Like overall, it has all the parts of the movie that you need, and it's got all the classic parts, like from the cartoon and the book and everything. But it just feels like it goes on for so long. Kind of like this conversation. You might be thinking that this conversation about the Grinch has gone on for a little too long. And I'm sorry, but does anyone? I guess I'm just trying to justify it because I don't know. I don't not like what goes on. I don't not like the movie. But when I watch it, it's just like, is this still going? Like, I hate that every time I watch it, I think that because it should be a good one. Jim Carrey's classic, The Grinch. It's like a live action Grinch. And Jim Carrey's sitting in a makeup chair 8 hours a day to get this movie done, and now I watch it and go, it's a little too long. And he's like, you want to talk about long? I was sitting in a makeup chair 8 hours a day for 80 days to make this movie, and you go, oh, an hour and a half. That's too long. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jim Carrey. I'm sorry. You know, it's not too long though. Another good Christmas movie of mine, underrated Christmas movie. It's usually always on TV, but I have it on DVD because I'm a diehard fan. And not diehard, it's not diehard, although I am a diehard fan. I used to think that's what that meant, a diehard fan, and I thought it was like a fan that I thought it was referencing fans of Die Hard, like they were such strong fans that people just called, oh, if you like Blue's Clues, you're basically a Die Hard fan because the fans of Die Hard like Die Hard that much. I know it's stupid, but I was like 11. But now I get it. Anyway, the movie is the 2006 comedy family Christmas movie, Unaccompanied Minors. When a Christmas Eve blizzard shuts down the airport, 5 stranded youths take the opportunity to run wild and have some fun. Racing with golf carts and sliding down baggage chutes, the kids create holiday pandemonium for an uptight airport official and his gullible assistant. So it's just these kids that are all under 18 that get trapped in the airport trying to fly home to their parents, and then the planes get canceled, and they all start hanging out with each other and going through all the Christmas gifts and trying to become friends and find the true spirit of Christmas. Goodness, I'm yawning. Sorry, I just woke up. If you're wondering why this episode wasn't uploaded at 3 in the morning, it's because it's 12:55 p.m., not midnight. Like, it's noon. It's about to be 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. So I'm recording it like I recorded the first episodes. I don't know. I was up late last night, but I didn't record White Coffee. I knew I would do it in the morning. Long story. I wasn't doing anything that I could stop and record White Coffee. And I went to bed late and woke up at 12. But yeah, Unaccompanied Minors is a great Christmas movie that goes very under the radar with people. The next, if you could hear that ding, that was my computer because it's dead and I had to plug it in. And then every time I plug it in, it has about 40 notifications for me that it's been saving until I plug it in. The word of the day is the word didactic, didactic. It's an adjective describing intended to teach, particularly in having moral instruction as an ulterior motive. A didactic novel that set out to expose social injustice. Or in the manner of a teacher, particularly so as to treat someone in a patronizing way. Slow-paced, didactic lecturing. So like to teach someone something in a way that's like, oh, you didn't know that? Okay. This is Calculus 6, everybody. If you don't know that, get out. And of course, last but not least, we have the Christmas song of the day to follow along this holiday spirit. One of my favorite Christmas songs, a personal favorite of mine. Darlene Love's Christmas, Baby Please Come Home. I'm a big fan of female singers, I think. I learned that about myself the other day. And that certainly follows the pattern, because that's a beautiful song by Darlene Love. I like the rasp in the voice, and the old quality microphone just really brings the whole song together, and it's just a jam. And it's like, you know what, if I had a baby to bring home on Christmas, I'd be screaming that too, Darlene. You and me both. Well, that's pretty much the end of the episode. Of course, I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was kind of me just rambling about finals, but I'm sorry if these next two episodes are boring, but I've got a lot on my plate right now. Um, I want to be giving you good content, but I don't know. I can't do anything. I mean, I haven't been out doing anything for the last week, so I'm sorry if there's nothing interesting to tell you about. Um, we can talk about white coffee, though. It's fun to go back and listen to these old episodes or look over these old episodes. I don't know what the heck happened to the Outback Steakhouse episode, but it only got 28 views. We were going strong. 51, 120, 133, 375, 149, 180, 207, 212, and then 28. Last week's episode got 84, which is what I would consider normal again. I think 200's a lot to ask for. I don't know where I get those all of a sudden, but that was the norm for like 3 weeks. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 3.5 weeks I was getting over 200 views, or around 200 views. Over 100. Sorry. But now 28? I don't know. We'll see how this one goes. I understand if there's not a lot of views because this one was boring. Maybe YouTube actually cracked down on the porn accounts thing. And that's all I have left over is 28 accounts. In which case, YouTube, bring those back. Bring back the porn. I'm sorry. But I hope you enjoyed this episode just to get a little insight of what I'm doing and how my classes are doing. I'm sorry if that doesn't interest you at all. It barely interests me. I hate school. But that's all. Like I said, I haven't done anything. The only thing I can really talk about is classes because that's all I've been doing for the last week. So hopefully Thursday's episode isn't as boring, but I hope you get out what you got out of this one and get out something out of it. Get something out of it that's interesting and worthwhile leaving with. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I'm boring. I will see you all on Thursday.